I am just gonna go straight to them introducing themselves. Okay, I don't want to talk much today. I will start with Ore. Please, can you introduce yourself?
Hey guys, so I'm Ore, I'm Nigerian, and I'm glad to be here. Thank you, Jane, for inviting me.
So much for coming. Yeah. Oh, Jesus. Shunko.
So, my name is SHUNKO, and I'm glad to be here. You know, I'm glad to be invited in this wonderful podcast, and it's nice to see you guys again.
Nice to see your beautiful face.
Same here.
And Jin.
Okay, hello everyone. I'm June. I'm from China, Suzhou, and it's my first time being here. Excited, and it's very glad to be here. And thanks for inviting.
Thank you so much for coming. I love to see your wonderful face as well. I mean, you are pretty. Like, you guys are so pretty. You guys are so pretty. So, you guys, in case my network stats misbehaving, I'm just gonna put a disclaimer out there. I'm sorry, I'm not home, and I'm using my phone hotspots. Okay, so you guys, pardon. Without further ado, I'm gonna go straight to the topic, and we have different countries here. We have Laos, China, and Nigeria. And we're talking about culture. Can someone please tell me what they understand by culture? This is not like a school thingy here, okay? Let's just define it, and then we understand what it means by, bringing up a topic from it. So maybe just in your own word, what is culture? What do you think?
Well, for
What do you
me,
guys?
I was thinking about the topic earlier, culture, and I was like, what is actually culture? I think culture stems from a set of people through their understanding of the situation, their ignorance, their behavior, and their environment, and then this set of behavior or rules or ideologies formed and then is passed on through generations and generations. That's basically what I think the idea behind culture is.
Okay,
So because you have different set of people in different environments with different understanding and things around them have different cultures. It affects their ideology and beliefs because their situations are different.
It's more like you went
So
to
yeah.
Google and then typed what is culture, and then you just brought the whole thing. Like, you define it so nice.
No.
You define it so good. Okay, I think your answer has actually covered the whole thing. Okay, culture. And I will start with Jin. What do you think is the most considered, like, the biggest culture in China? I mean, we're all in China, so we are foreigners, but you are the native. Like, what as a native do you think is the most important culture for Chinese people?
Because we have a long history, and I think the culture in China focuses a lot on family and the community. It's like individualism and communalism.
Community.
I think so.
Yeah.
So,
Collectivism. Do you guys know collectivism?
Collectivism.
Yeah, collectivism, sure.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, so I think collectivism and the community family is a very big feature in Chinese culture. Right.
Okay, wow. I know family, but I didn't know the other one. Good. And as an Asian, Shunko, what about your country? Laos.
Oh, like the main components of Lao culture, right?
The most important one, according to the Laos culture.
Like the foundation.
Yeah,
of
thank you, that's the word.
I would say we focus on there's also like this collectivism in Laos, because in Asia in general, like generally speaking, collectivism is just there, you know, it's a part of us. But then in Laos, I think people are more traditional. You know, they are more inclined to follow ceremonies and traditions. For example, if you're getting married, the ceremonies that you need to participate in, then you need to participate in those things. You know, people don't really go out of their way to make to be different. Yeah, so I would say in my country, the one of the most important things in our culture is the ceremonies, the collectivism, and respecting elders.
Oh, okay.
In yeah, you know, in Asia, and you know, I'm from Southeast Asia. We usually give our respects to our elders, but it's not the respect that you think it is. It's more like kind of like putting someone on the pedestal. This is how I see it, because the way we talk to them, our attitude towards them, everything has to be more mild and like mannered. You know, you have to watch your manners in front of them.
Okay.
And when they okay, like you might have, like, as a young person or young girl, you will have your own opinions, but then in front of your elders, you don't really be like, yeah, but I don't agree because blah 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 blah. You don't do that. You know, if you yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
You don't do
Okay.
that
All right. So I'm
because
gonna
it's
cut
seen
you
as
from
rude.
there
Because
we're gonna. Okay.
okay,
More
sorry.
questions are coming. More questions are
I'm
coming.
nervous. I'm sorry.
It's okay. You don't have to be nervous, but. All right. You're from Africa, and what's the Nigeria? African Nigeria, my country too. But I'm not going to answer this. Please don't ask me because I don't know. So, what is the biggest cultural? What's the foundation you think we have in Nigeria? Like, let me even think about it. But you can talk. I don't want to talk.
Well, I think it's kind of a combination of the collectivism and respect. We're big on respect. Even down to the language, the use of language. Let's talk about the three big tribes: Igbo, Yoruba, and Hausa. The use of language. You have words to, show respect to your elders while greeting, and then other things, proverbs, and all. So there's a lot of emphasis on respect. And then we have the saying about it's the community that trains the child. So it's not just about my family or your family. And as much as there's the individual unit, together we form a society, a community, and we are one. I'm able to correct you, you're able to correct me, or give me advice or help. So we tend to operate on respect and collectivism. I think those are two of the fundamental foundings of the Nigerian culture.
Okay, I kind of like the fact that you are Nigerian, so that the question doesn't come back to me like, "What do you think?" Because
Yeah.
I do cultures. Like there are two things I don't do: culture and history. They are not my line of field. Okay, so the first question here is: we've all talked about our basic culture and from different countries. Do you think this cultures are being affected by the civilization? Like right now, we all have the whole modernized world, technology, and blah blah blah. Do you guys think it's affecting our culture as Asian and African?
It definitely does.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does anyone disagree?
I think the civilization or the architecture, they are a form of culture. They are like an aspect that can show our culture. For example, European architectures and Chinese architectures, African or any different form of architecture is a reflection of the culture. It's like a part of culture. Yeah. So I think the civilization includes the culture itself?
Well,
So,
I'm
do
gonna
you
kind of agree and disagree. So I
agree
think
and
it's a
disagree?
yes. I
Okay.
think it's a yes and no situation in the sense that the more modernized or civilized we become, the more the world becomes a global village, which gives the opportunity, which makes it easier for us to simultaneously influence each other. So we're in China. I'm able to influence her with Nigerian culture. She's also able to influence me with Chinese culture, and vice versa, and other cultures. So that way, if we are not careful, there is the tendency for us to forget our culture, and then we all just become one big no named culture, just everybody just doing everything. So there's that tendency because civilization brings us closer. The internet, I don't need to go to any country before I know the culture of the country,
Oh,
before I know what happens there, what dress, what music, their ideology, because I can see everything through the internet.
I know.
Even if I want to go, it's not hard because there's the plane, is transportation is easier. Unlike before when people were limited to
Where
where
they
they
go
were
to.
and their immediate surroundings.
Sure.
But now I can go to the farthest country in the world I'm talking of hours, not even more than a day. So that, and then you have, the telephone, so all these things, which is good, can also be negative. But at the same time, it can be positive too, And another point about the negativity, which is still the same architecture. Architecture like reflects the culture. But then if you look at a lot of this what we call modern day architecture, where it's just glass buildings or some crazy designs, the design might come out of the culture, but then sometimes it's because of the requirements it has to meet in order to be made, or the laws in in that area, it might not be able to actually reflect, or people might not be able to see the culture through the architecture. Only those behind, like the people who made the plan and stuff, might know the idea they had. But then if it's not explained, just a random person passing by would not know. And you might not even be able to differentiate, because now, like, there's a glass building here in China, in Nigeria, in Laos, in all these places. Like, whose culture is it? Whose culture is that? What is it? Is all glass? It's all becoming the same thing. If you look at movies now, when they give you like future 2050, 2060, it's just all one
Exactly.
type of
Exactly.
building, like a
Exactly.
box or square. No, the architecture is not taking into consideration the culture and all and stuff like that. So it's a yes and
And
a
no
no
situation.
situation.
Okay, after I give Shunko the chance to talk, I have two guests here. Two guest speakers. Okay, three guest speakers and two guests. One is from Uganda and the other person is from Cameroon. Okay, so Shunko, do you think this
Yeah.
civilization has affected the Laos culture, basic cultures? Do you think it has affected positively or negatively?
Can you?
Do you think? Can you hear me? Okay, yeah, that's online. Online. Oh my god. Okay. Oh, is it my network? Oh god. Network. No, don't do this. You guys. Am I back?
Yeah, you're back. You're back.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so do you think the civilization has affected the Laos culture? In what way? Negative or positively?
I'd say both, because since we have the internet and we can connect to people around the world, we have learned some negative behaviors, and we also have learned positive behaviors from other people. Back back in back in the day, when my mom was, a child, so it was in the late 70s, 1970s. Lao women will never be, we're not sexually open. Okay, you don't throw a sex joke here and there. you don't talk about this, like bedroom stuff. No. We don't dress like, like short sleeves. We don't dress provocatively. We don't wear unrevealing clothes outside.
Mhm.
But then right now, because of the influence of modernity and civilization, the internet, more and more Lao girls, like my generation, okay, I was born in 1999. So maybe 1990 to 1999, like my generation, we start to dress, we start to dress, like buy more revealing clothes, and we would wear them outside, stuff like that. And more girls would kind of, I'm just finding the right phrase for this. I'm sorry if I am not
Sorry.
articulate enough about
Be
this
yourself.
topic,
Mhm.
but be myself. Okay. So we are more open to these kinds of things, and I think, and there are more young models like my age, so they would take their photos dressed in revealing clothes and stuff like that, which, if that's what they want to do in this day and age, okay, that's good, but you have to remember that there are consequences. Your photos are all over the internet. Maybe the clothes you wear aren't really revealing. Maybe they're just like a spaghetti strap top, but some girls would go further, and as I just said, their photos are in the internet, and it's like a ticking time bomb. But if they want to have a family later on, and their past will affect their present, like sometimes the guy's family would not want to accept them as a daughter-in-law because of this.
Because of the online pictures?
Just like I said, because of her job, if it's too much, if it's too explicit, then probably not. But there are exceptions in this case, of course.
Okay.
So that's a bad example that we have learned from other cultures, mostly Western culture. You guys know what OnlyFans is, right? I don't have to tell you what OnlyFans is. I mean, something like that. Yeah. So when we want to learn about other cultures, or if we want to, or if like we are on the receiving end of the influence from other cultures, we need to pick and choose carefully. That's what I want to say. Okay. It's a double-edged sword. You do what's best for you. You make your own healthy decisions. If not, well, there will be consequences.
So there's what you're trying to say is the civilization has a good and a bad impact. And
it does, and I just told you about the bad impact right now.
Okay. All right. So actually, the second question I just noticed is relating to this topic. It's actually what damage can be caused by this whole civilization to our culture. I think we've talked about it, and maybe I could move to the third one, which is what is the most difficult cultural shock you have ever encountered? Like the most, maybe in your country. Okay, can you have cultural shock in your country? I think June said something like that, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think you can.
Maybe in your country or for like with the foreigners. So maybe I could go with June first. What is the most difficult cultural shock? First, in your country, and second, in having foreign friends. What do you think are the most cultural shock?
Well, I think the most memorable cultural shock is when I went to university in Dalian, in northern part of China, and it has less influence from the Western country, so it still have a lot of traditional Chinese concepts like help each other, and also the biggest thing. Okay, I'm going to tell you. We had like public showering places when we were in university in northern part of China. It's not like we live in a dorm, we have our own showering place. No, we go to a public showering place, and there is no curtains, There is no anything that can block you. So every girl just get into it, and then get undressed, and then go have a shower, which is super like uncomfortable for me because I'm used to like having my own room to take my shower. And then there's one day, there's a girl, she's very tall, and she just asked me, could you help me to wrap my bag? And I'm like, what?
Sorry.
Because first, I don't. Yeah, so this is actually a very common thing in northern part of China. If they're friends, or even if they're not friends, it is still common that they help each other doing that. But
Yeah.
for me, first, I don't really do that with someone else. So I'm like, nope. And they will think, okay, why are you not helpful, or why are you so conserved? And I was like, why are you treating me like that? I'm not your servant, or I cannot touch your body like while I'm undressed. Yeah, so that is a very, very memorable culture shock for me.
Okay.
And I think the culture shock just come from like the habits and the lifestyle and the mentality that we have when we are brought up. And with my foreign friends, I think because my major is intercultural communication, so when I'm getting along with my foreign friends, I didn't find many culture shock because first I'm already like know how to deal with that kind of situation. But I have to say, like having an appointment with someone is very difficult. You need to tell the time or tell a general period according to who the people comes from. Like if I tell a German friend, like, okay, I will meet you this afternoon, they will be mad. They will be like, can you be more specific? Because I have lots of things to do and I really need a really, really specific time. Yeah. And if like I am asking like my mom, like when are we going to meet this afternoon? I asked for like maybe around 2 o'clock or around 3 o'clock. And she was like, you just wait. I will tell you later. Yeah, so it's
more like the opposite.
time conception is very different.
Oh.
Yeah, so I think it's especially when you have many different friends from different country, it's you will find making an appointment is very different from people to people.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's my experience.
Yeah, actually, I agree with June because I went to the pool. I think it's about 2 kilometers away from our school. I went to the pool. I paid money. I went in, and the locker rooms and the shower rooms for women are connected. And so you put your things in the locker. You walk there. You take a shower. There are no curtains. There are no doors. There's nothing. Can you imagine? Like it's a big room with lockers and just shower heads. So it's just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shower heads. You just go there, turn on the tap, just take a shower, and all the girls around me are naked, like they're butt naked. I can see every single thing, every single thing. So yeah, I agree with June. And in my friend's dorm, it's the same.
Okay.
And the toilets,
but
they don't have doors.
I have a specific question for you because you grew up in Thailand,
okay.
right? It's not really Laos.
Yeah, I did.
As a Laos, were you born in Thailand?
I was born in Thailand, born and raised.
Okay, as a Laos, born and raised in Thailand, what were the cultural shock between just a few, like between Laos and Thailand? The most important ones.
Because I was very young. Okay, like, I think I might need time to think about this because I was very young. And the two countries are, as much as I don't want to say this, but the two countries are very similar. But we still have our differences. So I think it might be a bit difficult to point the cultural shocks because, I was very young. Just like I said, I don't really...
You don't know.
Okay. I didn't really pay attention to those things.
Okay.
It could be okay. It could be Lao people are more traditional. I know I said this before, but it's really true compared to Thai people, because Thailand has more Western influence compared to Laos. Laos is a landlocked country. Like, we don't have a beach, we don't have sea, but Thailand, they have like beaches. So the Western influence or influence from other places are gonna be significantly a lot. It's gonna be a lot more in Thailand than in Laos. So Thai people are more open-minded than Lao people, generally speaking. Thai people are more prone to speak a second language, for example, English, than Lao people. In Laos, unless you're very privileged, you don't get to go to a school that speaks English. I wasn't raised in my country, so like I'm a different case.
I get it.
So yeah.
Cool.
That's the difference between Lao
So
and Thai.
what about like, apart from what Junior just said, what is the most difficult cultural shock you encountered here in China as a foreign student and as a Laosian but was raised in Thailand? Okay, that's difficult.
Not very. I can think of one right now. It's gonna be, there's this one time a Chinese friend who was significantly older than us. So I'm in my early 20s. He's in his early 40s, according to the way he looks. And he invited my friend who was in the dorm, and she invited me and other international students, because the Chinese friend was organizing a get-together party. Like, he wanted to meet many people, so he told my friend to, hey, bring your friends, bring your friends. So he's a businessman, he just wants to meet and stuff like that. No problem. Okay, so I went. We were sitting around this round table. Like, each of us have a bowl and chopsticks and stuff like that, and we were just sitting there, chilling, waiting for the food, getting to know each other, stuff like that. And lo and behold, this Chinese friend, he orders so many kinds of foods, like maybe 10 different dishes. And those dishes don't look cheap at all. And I was like, we're not going to finish this. I think there were 8 of us, but then 10 dishes, like, really, we're not going to finish this. I mean, he ordered too much. And then he was trying to be very friendly to all of us. He's like, you should taste this, you should taste that. This is from Jinan, this is from this place, blah, blah, blah. And then he ordered so many drinks. And what I just thought that time was, it's just too much food. We're not going to finish this. Like, why would you do this? And then later on, not the same day, but later on, I learned that he was just trying to show that he's generous to us by ordering many kinds of foods and just making us feel comfortable around him. So I think it's a Chinese thing, because back in Thailand, the Chinese that have moved there, and the next generation and the next generation of Chinese families, they would also do this.
That's true. Okay, that's one thing also I noticed here, because in Nigeria, I think I wouldn't say we don't care, because we should care about our guests, but we don't go that extreme to break our
I know, right?
Okay, that's one thing. All right, Mr. Nigeria.
You give what you have.
I don't want to say
you give what you have.
Sorry.
Okay.
Go on.
No, it's okay. Just go ahead.
All right, thank you. All right, please represent us. Oh, by the way, I have my VP here. Our vice president is here, and not vice president of Nigeria. Okay, vice president of the Nigerian Association, Golden Princess. Okay, all right, please. We can talk about that.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
All right.
Well, for me, ah, this is kind of like a hard question because I don't know. I guess I'm used to everything now, so it doesn't
Oh.
seem okay. But well, when I came, one thing that was kind of weird to me was the fact that they were asking me too many questions.
Oh yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it was like don't like they didn't understand the the boundary. Like,
Boundaries.
see, in as much as they are close, there's a point where you stop and like, okay, you just leave it. You know, this is his or her
Privacy.
personal space.
Mhm.
But then they were just. I'm like, I was. It was so uncomfortable, and I'm like,
Like, what questions do you think is like cross the boundary?
Oh, a lot.
a lot. This is not. It's not easy to define. I can't just tell you this is okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just because coming from our society, you just know, like this is okay, this is not okay.
Okay.
So you get so I was not able to also explain to them because in my head I just knew what is okay and what isn't.
Not
But it's not
okay.
something like I can explain like 1, 2, 3 questions you can ask, 1, 2, 3 you can't like it's not so easy to define or differentiate.
Mhm.
And then also the food, which she mentioned, but not in the restaurant. Like when you go to a Chinese person's home,
Oh,
when you're eating, they always put more food in your plate.
exactly.
Like which is really nice, and the point is to show like yes, they want you to feel
To be good.
good and feel full and eat well. But sometimes people from other cultures, like I have friends from other cultures where it is disrespectful to tell the person serving you to stop, or where it's when you have something in your plate you must eat. So in such situations you eat, you don't tell them you're fine, then they put more and then you keep eating and then they put and you eat because you can't waste the food, and then they feel you're not okay because you're eating everything.
Mhm.
So such a situation is complicated. So for me also it was I didn't even know how to tell them. I was like because I didn't want to seem rude that I didn't like the food. The food was nice, I enjoyed it, but I was full. So I was like, it was a lot. I mean, but it was nice though. So consecutively, I had to find a way to like let them know, okay, this is enough. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. So that was
Oh,
kind of because back at home, I mean, when the guests come, you give them, you serve. Most of the time, we don't eat like the Chinese where you put the dish that you pick. We
yeah.
just serve it in your plate. So once you're done eating, if you want more, you'll be given. But most times the guests will not ask for more because they don't want to seem like they are eating
They're
a lot.
asking
You get
for more.
the guest wouldn't ask for more most times, but then most families back at home, if you do ask for more, actually they would give.
Yeah.
But then the guest feels like a bit like they don't. It's just kind of awkward. Like just manage it. Just hold yourself till you go back home and then eat yourself.
Mhm.
So that was kind of different, but I liked it, and I think it's something that I would employ as a person. Although I may not just continue putting, but maybe if I have a guest, I would rather than serving them in their plate, I might just bring the food if it's
Yeah.
rice,
They take
stew, whatever, and
themselves
put it there so that they can take as much
as they
as they
want.
want. So they would serve themselves till they are full, because it's a good thing too. And then what other thing do I think is a cultural shock? Well, yeah, you see some people they wear their pajamas on the road. Like they
Do
just
that.
like the way they dress.
Okay.
Yeah, I
I've
mean
seen
back
it
at home we
too.
have yeah, I mean in your area back at home, okay, maybe you want to go at least just wear something, just even though you wear slippers or just wear something at least outside clothes. We differentiate back at home, we have like outside clothes and inside clothes. This stuff you only wear inside because it's not presentable. No
Sure.
matter what you're going to do outside, you don't
Mhm.
wear them. And then outside clothes now you still have category. I'm just gonna buy something, I'm gonna work, or I'm going out for an event.
Church. Yeah.
But then you have your outside clothes. But here they just come, they just go, and it's more like it's not like my house. It's just like the whole society is one big house. All of us are just
Yeah.
there together. It was later I understood that it's that ideology of the society, like Ijaren, like we're
Yes.
all
Oh,
Collective.
the collectivism,
Yeah.
and also it was that for me that one it wasn't weird. I didn't feel it was weird. It wasn't good or bad. It was just funny. It was just like who does that? So it was kind of funny. Yeah, I mean these are some of the cultural shocks.
all right. Thank you. I think we should go to the maybe last one of the extras because the questions are just very intertwined and they're similar, and then we can give our guests the chance to talk as well. So, which cultural shock do you guys think that you cannot still get along with? Which one do you think it's like, "Oh, I can't get used to this one. No, I can't." Which one? Should I even answer these questions? No.
Yes.
No, please. I don't want to answer.
Can I give a short answer? Is that okay?
Oh my god, better.
So in China, okay, like in Jinan where I live, and also in Qingdao, the weather is kind of chilly. It's kind of cold, something like 10 degrees Celsius, 15, 18 degrees Celsius, which is not cold for me. And I would wear short sleeves and long pants, but in short sleeves without a jacket. And when I meet my Chinese friends or when I go to the school cafeteria, there's the cafeteria worker, an old woman or old man, like whatever. When they see me ordering food, they're like, in Chinese, they're like, "你不冷吗?" It means, "Are you cold?"
You're
Like,
not cold.
no, why would I be cold?
Mhm.
No. I love this weather. Back home, it's hot, and I don't like hot weather. And almost every single time I go there, and they're like, 你不冷吗，同学? Like, are you cold? Are you cold?
I know.
No. Like, I don't know you. You're just somebody that works there, but you keep asking me every single time you see me do this. I'm like, why?
Why?
Like, why? If you're my grandma, I'd be like, no, grandma, because you're my grandma, but you're not my grandma. I don't know you. So it's something that I know I should understand. That's the way they've been raised. They've been raised to wear warm clothes. They've been raised to wear a jacket when it's chilly outside, or when it's not even cold outside. They're taught to wear a jacket because they're always afraid of getting sick, like getting a cold. But I'm not. So it's something that I try to understand, but at the same time, I'm sorry to say this, but it's annoying when you get asked like that almost every other day.
Okay,
So that's the answer.
All right, so without further ado, let me just give June the space. Maybe the cultural shock in China because you're Chinese, maybe the northern part of China, or within your foreign friends. Just quickly.
Culture shock I cannot deal with.
You
Well,
cannot
even
get
if
used
like
to.
because I've studied it in my major, so I don't think there's no culture shock that I cannot. If I cannot deal with that, I will try to understand it, like know that people mean well. For example, the experience you had about people asking you about 你冷吗? Are you cold or not? It is annoying. It is annoying, but you know that maybe they mean well. They don't want to really like bother you, and then you know the kindness behind them. Because I don't think that all the culture shock is caused by bad intention.
Oh yeah.
It's just misunderstanding.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think I would just if I really upset about this kind of feeling, I will tell them, well, this makes me uncomfortable, and please don't do this anymore. Or I just leave some space so that next time I will just avoid that kind of situation. So I will like understand the reason, know their intention, because they never mean bad when you have this kind of culture shock. It's not like intentionally done. And then if you can understand, but you cannot accept it, then try to avoid the situation. That's my kind of way to get
How do you
out of
avoid
it.
the situation? Because I need to avoid some questions. Maybe I should just wear a cloth. 不要问我.
I just put my headphones in.
Maybe
Or you can just
anytime.
bullet. Like you can use your you can just
the way you answer the question, they would not to bother you.
Right. Or
I
just
answer the
full of
question every time, and they still ask
Like
me. It's a different person every time.
it's annoying they ask you the question every single time. 有没有男朋友？你的那个什么什么多少钱？
Ah, that.
What? What? They ask you
they
that?
ask this question every single time. Like, how do we run away from that? Right now in Nigeria, you dare not ask someone how old are you, okay? But right now in China, 你多大？我26。好，我就这样。Like I'm so used to it. Like I'm so used to it. I'm not bothered. Okay, but some questions I don't want to get used to it. I do not.
I get it. I don't like those questions neither. From my relatives, I was like, I'll just smile and walk away. And change the topic because I don't like those questions neither.
So
Nobody likes
recently,
those questions. It's personal. It's very personal.
It's very
recently, let me say something. Recently, I was with a few friends. I've known these people. And then we were eating together, and then he asked me, "How old are you?" And he asks me this question every time we meet.
Holy what?
And then I was like, I had to tell him because I understand, like, they are trying to make like small talk. It's more like small talk where the situation is not awkward because maybe the person feels they have to talk, so then they just ask you, "Oh, what are you doing? Why this? Why this?" So like they don't really know how to make small talk. So after I understood why, when they ask such questions, I cut it short, and if I want to engage in a conversation, I direct the way the small talk should go so that it's not just awkward and you asking me rather than it being like an interview and stuff. Because that's one of the things for me too is just this constant asking of things, especially questions that are personal. Because once again, that collectivism, there is really no boundary among people. They do it among themselves, so they will do it to you too, like because it's normal. This is what they would do, is acceptable. So they do not know whether it is acceptable for you. So you have to tell them, I don't want, please don't ask me. And obviously say it in a polite way because they don't mean bad. It's not like they just want to know, okay, what do you do? Do you have a but because these are things they will do among themselves. And something else for me that I do not like, even though I understand this stuff, they still annoy me though. But then I've found a way to like accept, understand, or deal with it in the best possible, most polite, most friendly, and a welcoming way. And then another thing for me is the timing. They just a lot of people they just assume like you don't have anything. They just call you, what are you doing? Just come and miss me too. Like impromptu, give me time to prepare. Don't stress me.
Exactly.
I'm busy. My day is always I plan ahead. Even though my plan is nothing, but I already have a plan to do nothing. They don't just come and cut it short like that. You will tell me, like, okay, you want us to meet. Maybe today is Monday. Okay, I want to meet you on Wednesday. And if it's impromptu, you say, okay, sorry for disturbing. Or what are you doing? Is it possible? Like, find a way to. I know that I'm encouraging your space. So please, let us do this. But most times they just come and they just. What are you doing now? This come and meet me. Come, let's go. No. I don't. For me personally, I don't like that kind of stuff. So even though I understand. It still annoys me every time it happens though. But yeah, like she said, we just find a way to, if you want to avoid it, find a way to avoid, and if not, find a way to deal with it. Still in the best possible way, because most of these things is not out of spite or hatred towards you, just understanding culture. I do not understand why. Because if you have an understanding of why things happen, you might even reason with them and be like, oh, this is actually good. But when you lack understanding of that thing, it feels weird. You judging from your own culture, from your own perspective and all. So I guess understanding, I mean, it's easier said than done anyways, though, but the goal is to just try and understand better. And them too, it should go both ways. We try to understand them try to understand your culture. So we can like meet in the middle. You understand?
But I still think we all have limits, we try to understand. I've been here for years, Jane's been here for years, my friends have been here for years. We all tried. I'm sure they did. But sometimes there just comes to a point where I'm just like, I'm done. I'm sorry, but I'm done.
But you can't be done for everyone, If you're done for
not for everyone, but
there's some specific stuff that you can't take, and those situations you need to make it known. this is a no. I can't, like, don't. They would respect it if they would respect it. I mean, don't just say it rudely, like, no, but you say, well, let them know. They'll respect your decision.
Wow. Okay. So I think, yeah, that's for me too. I don't want to say anything, but the whole question, the too much question, you can ask me. I think I'm getting used to all this because it's more like I know the next question from the last question. The number one is what's your name? Number two is how old are you? Number three is where are you from? So
What country are you from?
exactly. And then
What do you do here? No, when they ask you, are you an English teacher? They never ask you what you do.
that question sometimes it's nice, but sometimes it annoys me. Okay, because even if you tell them you're a student, which school, and then what's your major, and then which campus, like so many questions. And do you know the most annoying part? Okay, you're Chinese, so it's not annoying. It's annoying for me. Okay, it's a personal thing, but it's so annoying that the person you meet on the streets like a second ago will have the right to ask you all this. Bruh, like
That's too much.
like
Like the annoying
too
part for
much.
me is not even saying hello, hi, how you doing?
exactly.
Yeah. That
Ask
one
to
too.
know, they just go straight.
Yes.
Some of them won't even ask you, won't even say ni hao, just like their normal ni hao to you. They just go directly.
Yeah.
How old are you? And like, how can a stranger just meet somebody on the road and you'll be asking the person what country are you? Things like that.
You know,
It doesn't make sense.
that's what June actually
It's-
talked about.
Like they are too straightforward.
Yeah, the
It's
connectivity.
so you see something, that word you said, that ni hao, it's actually not Chinese. Chinese people don't, you hardly ever hear them, even amongst each
Yeah.
other, you hardly ever hear them say ni hao. So
Mhm.
it's more about the culture. Like I said, the small talk, that is their own small talk. Our small talk is, hey, how have you been? How's work? How's the
Yeah.
family? We limit it to that, just general things that everybody knows about your work, your family, or your school. Like, what are your plans? How is everything going? Your health? Just basic stuff that everybody can see if you pay attention. Nothing too personal, except there is already a relationship. So that is our own small talk. But for them, given the fact that there's the collectiveness, the family unit, and all, like, everything is, so that is their own small talk. So they might not, they don't have, I'm on the road sometimes, and two people, they are talking, and then they find out that they are Laosian, like from the same town, from the same city. Then they will just start asking themselves personal questions, and they could tell them about each other's wife and their some personal things about their family. I'm like, who does that?
Jesus.
So even among them, so it's funny. Even not them asking me, even me just listening to them saying it among themselves. I'm like, this is just. I mean, I understand, but for me, it's a
It's
no
too
no.
much.
So whenever they come, I'm like,
Iran.
I find a way to, like, break it down. It's okay. It's okay.
That's why
I'll just answer
in
one or
terms of
two.
culture, you also need to understand like other people and respect
Yeah.
people before you go into like asking people personal details, especially when you're not used to people. You try to know them before you go to like asking them personal question. You can
Yeah.
you can do that within yourself, but when it's outside your maybe your zone, you try to like get to find
Be
out if they are
mindful.
comfortable with it.
Yes.
I
But yeah, I
agree.
mean,
I really
Basically,
agree.
they don't know it. Basically, they don't know.
but the
Okay.
thing is,
Then
you have
It
to
also
that's why you
depends on
ask
social
question.
skills, Jane.
That is why you ask question. You have the right to ask question before you like relate to, okay, I want to have an appointment with you. I don't know how to get to you. How do? I get to your friends to get to know what I need to do to be able to do. That is the right channel. You don't
But
just keep and go straight and do that
it's
yourself.
It also depends on the person's
it's
social skills. Like this is a social skill.
that's what I was going to say. Also, it's another
You're
thing
not
is
born
we
with
are
this. You learn
coming.
this.
We're the one coming to the country. So
Yeah,
before
exactly.
you come, you need to have already studied to understand where am I going to. They're already here. Like, they just say, who is why go, and they just ask you. Blah, 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 blah. So that's why you see the Chinese that have had
Have you come across
have
this
had
question
relations.
before?
Wait first. You see, if you see the Chinese that have had relations with foreigners, they are mindful of these things
They know
because
how to
as you
act.
relate, but they understand.
Yes.
Okay, oh, from your culture, I need to do this. I also need to respect this. So it's easier for them to not to ask those questions or to tell you ahead of time, not just to tell you, okay, today let's do this. They're also mindful of you and your culture while you are mindful of them. But the people who don't have to relate, besides them seeing your road, they're not going to have to relate with you. And maybe from like more rural, less civilized, developed areas,
Exactly.
they're not going to know.
Mhm.
And most of the time, those are the people that ask those questions. Those IEs or Shusho on the road. And the ones that will ask you now.
Yeah,
all this-
sure.
almost
They've
of
been
them.
doing this the whole life,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they've been doing that to show kindness or curiosity. That's their
Yeah.
pattern.
So it's just, and it's even hard for them to change, especially at such a
Change,
time.
exactly.
Me, I've grown to like, maybe because I've learned about the Chinese culture, so I have quite like a deep understanding of the stuff. So I'm like, yeah. Sometimes I
But
won't
for
talk.
me,
So
I
I'm
also
in a good
educate them
mood.
too.
I actually just talk to them.
I educate them myself. Like I don't take once you ask me a question, I educate you at the point.
Yes,
So that
yes,
next time
that works too.
you don't make such a
Imagine
mistake.
educating 1,000 people. Like,
No, for me, as long as you do that. So, like yesterday, I was with my Thailand friends and we're just like walking along. Before you know, they were asking where are you guys from, all those things. The next thing is they started asking is Thailand, but China is, but how they now start doing it like
They doing
to
the
compare and contrast.
中国
That
好
is
吗？
the
就是中国还可以。
thank you. You already right.
yeah.
That's
The
comparing and
compare.
contrasting spirit. That is the
This
worst
is
part
the
for me.
Yeah,
spirit.
true.
Like,
I don't like that either.
It's spirit.
No, it's
now
very shallow.
I feel you're not like looking down on other countries and it's not okay. That is
Yeah,
to be
something like
disrespectful.
that.
That's the highest form for me.
Yeah, I mean, in those
Then
kind
do
of
any other person,
situations,
it's okay.
educating is.
Yeah,
So
true.
when I told them yesterday, see my reply, I just said everybody's home is their heaven.
Mm,
No
sure.
matter how good you think your country is, you can never say this particular country is better than your country. So
Mm.
that is it for them. That is my own reply. And they were like, yeah, that's true.
I think
And
I'm learning
everybody-
a lot right now because I'm learning how to run away from all those questions. I'm learning how to reply them. I'm learning how to say, 不要问了，好吧? You know, I'm learning so many things. So yeah, I mean,
It also takes courage to speak up. You know, when somebody's asking you these intrusive questions, you be like, stop right there. You're not supposed to treat me like that. But you don't say these. You act and you
You
convey
act.
your message and you make sure they get it. You can't let people just walk all over you with their muddy boots. Like, no.
sure. Okay, so actually, guys, I don't want this scene to be so long. I need to end it in 10 minutes, okay? Badru and Sarah, do you guys have anything to say? And by the way, Sarah is from Cameroon, Badru is from Uganda, and Golden Princess is from Nigeria. Badru, Sarah, please unmute yourself if you have questions or contributions. And by the way, this culture is actually very big. We can't say everything today, really. Maybe I could fix up part 2, maybe, and then we could talk more about this whole differences and what we think we should add or subtract and all those stuff. Maybe part 2. Yeah, I would fix a date for
I'll
that.
be there. Jade, I'll be there.
Sure. I mean, we guys have to come back. Sarah.
Actually, I have nothing to say. I just
Hi,
joined
Badru.
to listen in.
Okay.
All right.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Sarah.
And my name is Sarah. I'm from Cameroon. For me, it's taking pictures of everything and anything. That one for me was like, no, nah, because in my country in Cameroon we don't do that. We just don't stand in the road and you just take pictures of the person in front of you because of one or another reason. So when I came here, that was my red flag. I was like, okay, what is actually happening here? Why are those people just taking pictures of me? Anyhow, without even talking to you? They don't even say hi. Can I even take a picture with you? Or I don't know. They just take pictures and it doesn't stop there. after taking the pictures, they will post it. They will like post it on TikTok or on their WeChat. One time, I had a friend, a Chinese friend, and her profile picture was a black person. So I was like, okay, do you know that person that you put on profile picture? She said no. I said, okay, so why are you putting someone that you don't know on your profile picture? She didn't have an answer for me. I was like, okay, you know that is rude, because I don't even know if you ask that person before taking the picture and you put the picture, the person pictures on your profile picture on WeChat. That is, I couldn't understand why she did that, and herself she couldn't explain to me why she did that. So for me, that is a red flag for me. Taking pictures, even for myself, I don't even take pictures of myself. So why are you
They want to make you
taking
famous,
pictures of me
Sarah,
and
because they know
posting
you.
it and laughing about it? Nah, but no, it's not.
But
No, for me, it's not.
really,
And up to now, I wouldn't say I'm used to that, but I just learned how to avoid it, how to ignore it. Like if I'm in the metro, for example, and I'm going somewhere, and I just noticed that okay, there's that man sitting there. The way he's just behaving is like he wants to take pictures of me. I will just turn my face, see, and I will just continue. I will not say anything. See, so I've just learned how to ignore it and how to not react, because you don't have to react to everything. So that
sure,
one
sure,
was
sure.
that's for me. That's for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. Golden Percent, I think she has talked about hers. Do we have any question? Because I don't want this to be so long. We have other things to talk about, culture. And I wanted to ask June a lot of questions because she's in the host country. She's a citizen of the host country. So, and she has given me the answer to the question I wanted to ask her, which is try to avoid. And if it's something you cannot avoid, then you can educate those people. Yeah, I think those answers are very, very legit. Thank you so much, June, for those
Yeah, I think
answers.
like setting boundaries and also first you need to understand their mentality and their intention. And if it is across the boundary, you can make a stand, but you don't need to do it very like rudely. You can
Rudely.
joke around or just tell them in their language.
Use like subtle ways to tell them.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
That's
Right,
my idea.
Do we have any question, by the way? We have 5 minutes left. Shunko, Ore, Jun, Sarah, Badru, and Golden Princess, and Jane.
Sorry, I didn't get the question. What was the
Do
question?
you have questions or contributions in the next 4 minutes right now?
I don't have any questions. No.
Mm,
Okay, without no,
I just want to chip in something from what I just said, what I said earlier. Okay, in terms of the picture, let me answer Sarah. I also have some experience like people taking your pictures without your noticing and all those things. I have couples of someone that just was beside me and was telling the husband to take picture, like to snap. She was coming close. She was close to me, asking the husband to take the picture first before I make a move, things like that. I was like, it's not just for you. And I said it in the language. Why not just ask me, let's take a picture, so that at least I will know that you're actually taking a picture. Then I will smile if possible, not me being in my weird situation. They just. She was really excited when I was like, I now offered willingly, because I already saw that the way they were doing it. I don't like it when you are secretly doing something. It's something I can actually give into. It's not a big deal. But I want to like have my face being, maybe I'm in my best mood, maybe not me being in a weird state, and I didn't realize I'm on social media. So I wouldn't mind.
Okay,
but let me know, like,
let me know when you want to take the picture. Yesterday,
at least they were really happy that day.
Okay. Yesterday, a woman, and she was carrying her baby like on the trolley, and then she was like, "You know how they do it?" I'm like, "How come?" She said, "How come?" I'm like, "Okay." 你可以拍啦. So, and yesterday actually, like a group of guys, maybe they're dramas or maybe photographers. I don't know, like 4 guys. I was with a friend. Just I'm gonna be fast. And I don't know. They just stopped. Okay, they literally stopped like 10 minutes. Close to where I and my friend were taking pictures. Like for 10 to 15 minutes, you guys. They wanted to take pictures with us, but they cannot say it. I don't know if it's a thing for Chinese. Like, I'm not kidding you guys. Like, for 10 to 15 minutes, these guys were roaming around. Like, they were going and coming to Lysol too. I was like, are you sure these guys don't want to take pictures with us? My friend was like, oh no, wait for them to say something. So when my friend told one Xiaohai, like the small baby, my pai jiao ba, the guys heard pai jiao and they said, 我们也想拍照. Like, like you guys have been roaming around. You guys take pictures with us and you cannot even say. Is it like a shyness or like why, Jun? Please explain to us. Like, I want to know because in Africa we don't do this.
Yeah, I think like if you, especially if you go to like a more less open place, then people there are less open to other culture, other like different races, different. So they are very similar to their they're very familiar to their environment. Once they see something like different, they're very, very curious. But as Chinese culture, it's like very rude to just run there and just ask about questions and I don't know. And I think people are shy to ask or they see the difference first instead of seeing a person there. So they see something different and curious about that. And then they don't know like how to deal with that. They're very, very curious, but they forgot that this is a human being they can talk with, or they don't know that you can speak Chinese. So and also they're very shy to ask questions. So maybe that is why they're nervous. They're maybe, what should I do? I really want to talk about it. Does she speak Chinese? What should I do?
Okay.
Yeah. So I think it also happens in very rural place, not only in China. Like once I was in Germany before. It is a very, very small town. There are old ladies looking at me very weirdly. There is also like a very like cute kids when they see me like an Asian face. They seldom see that. So they were very, very curious. They just stand there and stare at me. And when I say hi, they will say hi back because when you see something different, people will see the difference. They don't see it as a person first.
They're intrigued by.
Yeah, so I think that is one of the reasons.
All right, guys, I'm gonna end this stuff here because I don't want to keep talking. It's over 1 hour right now, okay? And I need to get busy at 3 o'clock. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate it. And I will have to maybe talk with Ray to bring a second version of this culture stuff. Maybe then we move closer to maybe culture shock or differences. I don't know. We can brainstorm on that. All right. You guys, thank you so much for coming to my podcast session. And Badru, Sarah, and Golden Princess. Thank you for your presence.
Thank you.
All right, Jane.
Thank you, Jane.
I'm going to see you guys later.
I'm glad to be here, Jane.
Thank you
Bye-bye.
so much. Let me stop.